Welcome to Is There Something in This, the podcast where I, Scott Dooley, and he, Jason Chatfield, invite you into our writer's room as we come up with the cartoons we do for The New Yorker, among other publications.
Very good.
Can we just... I've got a bit of an issue.
Okay, go on.
We have, without doubt, the best podcast setup
We do.
in the world.
In
right
the world,
now.
literally.
We've got all this fantastic gear from Rode.
Yeah.
Here's my problem. Previously, we could rely on shoddy equipment for the podcast not being good.
Yes.
Now it's really, the content is doing a whole lot more heavy lifting that I'm comfortable with.
We have no excuse for the level, the quality of the actual content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This thing is amazing.
Yeah.
I just want to do, and I promise this will be the only time I do this.
Are you going to start doing sound effects every time?
Yeah.
Is there a bomb sound effect? Or like a car screeching?
Air horn. It's an air horn. We've got an air horn. I've got to figure out. It's actually for the best. Okay, ready?
Welcome back to the...
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
We're back
I
in
promise.
Ibiza.
I promise that is not good. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm a little perturbed that you have an air horn at fingers reach.
Yeah, I've got all sorts of things.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's good.
You've got it's not like that was meant to be a cough button, but you've assigned it to air horn, like a DJ in Ibiza.
Right. Yeah. That's
Perfect.
right. It's our tribute to Vibes Cartel getting off his murder charge. Look it up.
Very deep cut.
Vibes is spelt VYBZ.
Very deep cut.
Should we...
Yeah, hi, welcome. We should start with plugs. As
let's
we
do some
each
plugs.
Week. Okay.
So what we do here is we plug things that we are doing or that our friends are doing from the cartooning community. And in order to make it kind of not so gross and transactional, I will do some topical jokes from the week.
And in between, I will do plugs. So, first plug.
Sure.
Is there something in getting a book that Scott and I wrote and drew together?
Hello.
Yes. Go to you'renotareal.com. That's YOURE, notareal.com, and get our
That would annoy
our
people that listen to this because of the New Yorker.
Yeah.
We were, and I just want to say we
Style
were
guide.
very, very tempted to make it YOUR and just leave it and just kind of rile the pedants up.
Just see if the grammar Nazis at the New Yorker would call us out.
Sadly,
get the red pencils out.
Sadly, we are those people, so we couldn't do it.
I am the comma queen incarnate. You can get the book. It is a fantastic book, all about the joys of parenting, of which Scott is a week into. Please do not, and I repeat, do not go to Barnes & Noble or bookshop.org or Amazon.com. You can even just reach out to us directly and we'll send you a nice little link. We could even sign it for you. How about that?
Catherine, Princess of Wales, has revealed she's been diagnosed with cancer and is in the early stages of treatment. For the uninitiated, cancer is a foreign entity that invades tissue and has the ability to travel distant places in the body to form new tumours at the expense of existing healthy cultures that already exist. In unrelated news, it's been 28 years since Alanis Morissette released Ironic.
Oh my God. Wow. That's...
I thought it was subtle.
Spicy meatball.
That's the opener.
I did like your threads about, at least we can all rest assured that we harried a young mother into giving us a cancer diagnosis. The New Yorker's very own Amy Kurzweil is taking her final round of people who would like to learn how to cartoon. She's doing cartooning classes on Patreon. Sign up now, Amy Kurzweil on Patreon, to get the recording of every past class and the new classes.
A New York appeals court has agreed to hold off collection of former President Donald Trump's $454 million civil fraud judgment if he puts up $175 million within 10 days. The former president responded by announcing a new limited edition sneaker which will sell for $175 million. Cannot knock the hustle. Say what you will.
It's just an NFT.
It's not even a pair of shoes. It's a picture of a shoe.
Melania buys it. Wonderful. Very good. I can now plug friend of the show, Jason Chatfield, has a new Substack launching in April called Process Junkie, process-junkie.com, which explores the very creative process, which is very messy, of being an illustrator, cartoonist, writer, whatever you will, and the process therein.
Sticking with Donald Trump, this week it was announced that he won the club championship trophy and the senior club championship trophy at the Trump International Golf Club in Florida. Fellow Republican Mitch McConnell missed out on receiving an award due to having too many strokes.
By the way, did you see Biden tweeting at
Oh, it's great.
Trump?
Yeah, it's great.
Just a very quiet, passive-aggressive.
Yeah.
Well done, Donald.
Yeah.
Great achievement.
It is in that like remember Kim Jong Il had all these like
Yeah, for 30 hole-in-ones.
that's right. Yeah.
On 18 holes, but somehow
He
30
went
hole-in-one.
around. Yeah, he went around.
Miracle, man. I mean,
went
he's
around
a
an
god.
18.
He's a god. How does he do
Par
it?
fives. He's like, got it.
Unbelievable. Also, a friend of the show, Jason Chatfield, has a Substack called New York Cartoons at newyorkcartoons.com, where you can see cartoons that have and haven't appeared in the New Yorker and other publications by himself and Scott Dooley, as well as stories about his ridiculous life around New York.
A tradition dating back to 1914 has been revived by local authorities in Paris with a 1.2-mile race for waiters. The participants had to carry a plate with a croissant, coffee, and a glass of water through the Marais neighbourhood in central Paris. When asked by international media how it felt to win the event, Pauline van Weimarsh sighed loudly and tapped a blackboard that had soup du jour written on it.
That's the most culturally accurate Parisian reference I've ever heard in my life. Brilliant.
I once heard a waiter in Paris say, in a really kind of thick American accent, I don't speak English, and walk off.
The day we arrived in Paris for Christmas, Sophie walked into a cafe in the Marais district and said, can we sit down? She goes, do you have legs? Amazing.
That's great.
Didn't even pause for a second. And I really want to plug this one heavy because it is coming up this weekend. If you're in New York, if you're in Brooklyn, please come to Union Hall for Picture This. It's stand-up comedians on stage with cartoonists off stage, drawing what the comedians on stage are doing on a giant screen behind them. This is the 11th year in a row, and it's the 30th. That's this Saturday, the 30th, at Union Hall at 7 p.m. It always sells out, so book your tickets now. Would love to see some It's It fans there.
And in sport, the annual US college basketball tournament known as March Madness has progressed to the final stages with just 16 teams remaining. The name of this part of the tournament has come under fire, however, with critics suggesting that Sweet 16 has gender bias and sexual overtones. Florida Representative Matt Gaetz weighed into the debate by suggesting that the Sweet 16 could be replaced with Can You Keep a Secret?
Matt Gaetz really is the gift that keeps on giving, isn't he? Just
Unless you're a high school girl. Then he becomes a lot less.
The person who keeps taking gifts.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you just before we kick off. How often have you been taking the L train these days?
I took it today for the first time in the best part of a month.
Okay. People who don't know, L train connects Manhattan to Brooklyn. It's probably one of the more, I want to say,
Good-looking trains?
Yes.
Attractive people.
100% attractive from 14th to all the way from 14th and 8th all the way through to Bedford, I think is pretty much Fashion Week Mark II. But
I'd give you to Graham.
Yeah.
Drops off from there.
Go on.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that. So after we recorded the last pod, I jumped back on the L and there was a guy selling hats because, of course, spring did its usual thing of teasing us with some warm weather, then peeled right back and went sub-zero on us. And he's selling woolen hats, but he knits them himself.
Oh, that's nice.
But here's the thing, is like, ladies and gentlemen, hats, get your woolen hats. And he's hustling. But then he goes, I make them myself. I make these with my wife. In fact, I make more than my wife.
He's giving the wife a
Giving
drive
the
by.
wife a little bit of a... I just thought, yeah.
Lazy wife.
It's called Good Lord Designs is
Oh, yeah.
the name. And he's just plugging these hats. And he wouldn't take no for an answer. Like, he was genuinely like, no, you need these hats. Also, I need to sell more than my wife, who's in the next carriage. His wife was in the next carriage. They clearly had some kind of competition going.
That's great.
Because I make more than her. I make more hats. That was amazing. L Train's just bottomless pit of material.
They do the showtime there because there's quite a long
mm-hmm.
stretch between Brooklyn and Manhattan because you go under the East River.
Yeah.
And it's a good point for the guys to do the
You're
dancing.
trapped. You're in a tunnel.
I saw a guy get kicked in the head.
Oh, really? Yeah. I bet you've got some stories from the L Train.
Not happy.
Not happy.
Do you want to hear some jokes?
Yeah, let's do some jokes.
Okay,
Let's
I've
do
got
some
one.
jokes.
I've got one that I really, really like.
Okay, yeah, I've got I think a banger this week, and I really need your help with it.
Okay, I'm going to start with my banger.
Yeah, okay, go on. This is your Outback Steakhouse
This is
pick
my
of the week.
Outback Steakhouse pick of the week.
We'll explain later.
It took a lot not to use the air horn just there.
Believe me, I almost reached for it.
Okay, so on a street,
Okay.
like Fifth Avenue near Times Square, like
Yeah.
a whole bunch of people. And I don't know if you've walked down Fifth Avenue, but towards Bryant Park,
Shot a guy there once.
there is.
No one said anything.
I still voted. There's dudes that set up like 3-card Monty,
Yeah.
and it's exclusively tourists that use it, and
Yeah.
they get fleeced every single time.
Of
And I
course.
stood there and watched it for a little while.
Sure.
And so I was thinking, if it's a crowd of people around 3-card Monty,
Yep.
except it's being played by a dolphin, right? Right? 3-card Monty, and there's a dolphin. Everyone else is a person, and the dolphin is standing there on his tail, like, right? Standing there.
No, I got it. Yeah.
And you can see that two people in the crowd are looking at kind of watching this, and one is saying to the other one, yeah, but they're not street smart. Isn't that stupid?
It's perfect. That's a banger. No
That's a
notes.
good joke, right?
No notes. That's a great joke. That's so silly. And you know how much I love drawing a porpoise.
Oh yeah,
a dolphin.
and just like completely.
That's so funny.
Everyone else is a human. There's no.
Oh no. There's no. Yeah. So you should know something. When you start telling me that I've got a banger, the first thing I hear is basically you should know that there's a countdown in my head.
Sure.
And it's how many seconds until he reveals that there's an animal.
Where's
in
the
this
talking
joke?
animal? Yeah.
The other week you were talking about a fortune teller, and in my head I went, "This is gonna be a fucking pigeon or something."
What was that one?
It was the groundhog,
Oh, that's right.
It
You
was
can only
weather-based.
predict the weather. Yeah.
and it was right down to the end until you said, "But the psychic's a groundhog." It's just, I was ready for it, but I just never quite know when it's coming. Of course, it's a dolphin. Obviously, one of your better jokes, which was, of course, the porpoise on the couch playing video games with the guy, the girlfriend or parent or something walking in going, "Purpose." I said, your life needed purpose. Easily one of the silliest porpoise-based jokes you've written.
Porpoise smoking a bong. That's always funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so bear in mind, these are all written on about 3 hours of sleep a day. So
Bear in mind, is this about a
Yeah,
bear?
this is a bear.
Okay,
There's
so
a bear
talking
in my
bear. Go on, Gary Larson.
Okay. There's two babies,
Okay.
and one of them, like, they're just kind of shooting the shit over a bottle.
Sensing a
and it's one of the babies is saying, "It was honestly the best thing I've seen in my life," which admittedly means very little coming from me. It's a bit wordy.
The best thing
But
I've
I
ever
just
seen
like the
in my
idea.
life.
Do you remember, like, when you're a kid and you would, like, go to, I don't know, like Dreamworld or something?
Oh, yeah.
And you'd
Yeah,
be
yeah.
like, "This is the best day of my life."
Best
And
day
you're
of my life.
6.
Yeah.
And you're probably right.
Well, actually, at 6,
Yeah, it
that
is.
more
Yeah,
than
absolutely.
at 60. I know that you've had more time at 60, but at 6, that day is less of a percentage of your entire life. That's huge. That is a huge day.
That's an interesting way to look
So
at it,
that
because I would say
day-
I've had more days to compare
No,
to.
for sure. But that day as a percentage is always going to be a longer proportion of your life than any
It's like
other day you
3%
have
of your life
henceforth.
was spent
Right.
queuing for
Unless you
water
did a
slides.
6-week bender that was just non-stop joy in your 80s, you're never going to get a day that good again. Just a solid day.
So do you think meth addicts count benders as just a day?
Absolutely. I think they count a few other things too.
They're like just okay.
Yeah.
Apart from the part I was covered in spiders,
Yeah.
which turned out not to be spiders at all. So that was a win.
It was ants, but whatever. Yeah.
Then
Yeah. So, babies talking. Is this a refillable for you? Is this a series?
I don't know. I don't really like it. Listen, I'm a talking animal guy.
I know you're a talking animal guy. This is why you're out of your lane here.
Yeah.
Although this is a very new lane that you're verging into, and I'm enjoying it because last week we did talk about the baby at the bar.
Oh, and I have a
Leave the
joke
bottle.
for that.
Oh,
I have a
great.
joke
Go on.
for that.
Yeah, fantastic.
Which
Go
is the someone in the bar. So this was a caption competition, which was a baby at the end of a bar, and there was like people slumped over. And the original caption that you had was
Leave the bottle. Yeah.
and just give her a bottle with a T.
Right.
What about this is like it might not even be for that scene, but be careful. He's an angry milk drunk.
So milk drunk's a thing, isn't it?
Dude, that is real.
Yeah. Has the little man had some hangovers?
I don't let him drive.
benders, you know?
Yeah. When he's had a couple.
had a
When he's been on the boob.
Who's the skipper? After a spin on the boob. I'm sensing a whole series of drinking analogies.
Okay, I'll go daily.
Oh, good. Yeah, I love it.
It's about the basketball. March Madness is on.
Yeah.
And
just so people know, dailies are the ones that are a bit more topical that we can pitch for a daily cartoon on the website of thenewyorker.com.
And I wrote this joke kind of on Threads or whatever, but I like the idea of like a Jane Austen era kind of New England house. It's a woman in bed. The doctor who's doing the house call. He's got his doctor's bag. Think Little Women. Like the sisters are all around.
Little Women.
You know the brass bed frame.
Winona
The whole
Ryder
the whole
and
thing. Well,
Colin Firth.
Yeah, I wouldn't maybe use the actors necessarily. I was thinking more the time period.
That's all I've got. I'm casting in my head.
And
Dreamcast.
You're dreamcasting the movie with the people that were in the movie.
Hey, listen, was I wrong?
Can I tell you a quick story before I go on with this joke? I don't know if I've told you this. I went to see, they did another remake of Little Women and Timothy Chalamet was one of the guys.
How do you pronounce his name?
Doesn't matter. He's too pretty.
You
know what? He's had enough free kicks in life.
Yeah, okay.
We can mispronounce his name. So he was one of the characters, and we'd gone at like a 2:00 in the afternoon session. I don't know if I've told this story on the podcast before, but there were these girls that were there's a high school around the corner from the cinema. They were clearly like cutting class.
Okay,
they were cutting class to go to go and see the film.
Yeah.
And in the film, there's a part where Timothy Chalamet is rejected by he's rejected by one of the women. And then he goes to propose to another one. And the second one says no. And these girls have been silent the whole movie. And as the second one goes, I can't marry you, this girl back goes, oh, fuck off.
I love it. My favorite thing.
She can accept one rejection, but two was just
two is too much.
You've taken me out of the film.
Oh, I love that. Something about people yelling out in a cinema. I still go to the movies all the time, like actual cinemas, only because, I mean, you can watch a great movie at home and whatever, but there's something about going to the movies in New York and just not knowing who you're going to get in the cinema.
We went to see Dune 2 at Alamo, and you can drink at Alamo.
Yeah.
And that always kind of gets people going.
Is it good? Is
I enjoyed it.
Timothy?
I enjoyed it.
Okay,
Yeah. It's good fun.
Okay.
And but there was a scene, another guy yelling out, another Chalamet yell out. There's a scene where there's, fight scene, and he's fighting this dude, and this cat headbutts Chalamet, right? And this guy goes, not his face.
That's great. I thought you were going to say George Costanza was like, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah. And if I'm that dude, I'm going to like, I'm taking that around.
Buying every screening. Yeah. When we went to see Spider-Man, I think it was Spider-Man Far From Home or something, in Brooklyn, full cinema, full house. There's this just long movie. Jake Gyllenhaal's this villain. It's a long and drawn out and complex story. But all anyone's waiting for is for MJ and Peter Parker to kiss. This is the whole, everyone's just waiting. There's a fight on the London Bridge. It's this whole thing. And the tension is palpable. The whole cinema's just on the edge of their seat. And then finally, limping and just scraped, bleeding. He limps up to MJ and they kiss. And the whole cinema erupts, and this one guy just goes, "Get it, Spidey!"
That's dope.
It's great.
Okay, so
Anyway,
this joke,
okay, go
Jane
on.
Austen, they're all around. Someone's obviously very ill. The doctor's coming in. Things
Okay.
aren't looking good.
The
And the
vapours.
doctor is saying, "I'm afraid it's March Madness." Don't you think
Remind me not to sip before
Don't you
the
think it
punchline.
sounds like one of those things of
It
like
absolutely sounds
we
like
had to
mad
send
cow
her to
disease.
we had to send her to the seaside. She had the March Madness.
She's got consumption. Oh, man. I'm afraid it's March.
I'm afraid it's March Madness.
I'm afraid our worst fears have come to pass. It's a letter. It's a letter someone's written.
Yeah, the quill.
I could, yeah, just dipping it in ink. I come, bad tidings. I'm afraid.
Bad tidings.
It's March Madness.
It's March Madness.
That's great. Yeah, that does sound like an old British disease.
It does. It sounds
from the Middle Ages.
It does sound like one of those things of like
Yeah.
since Mr. Phillips went to the war, she's had the March Madness.
She's had the March Madness. The brackets are too much.
Okay, this
Yeah.
is my last
Okay.
joke.
Yeah.
and I actually I feel good about this joke.
Okay.
So
going out
it's like
strong.
a round table or one of those situations, you know, like in a fight scene or something.
Sure.
And it's all gods. It's like Thor, Zeus, and like and just like superheroes.
so you're mixing Greek and
Big-
Norse
all
in
of
just
them.
one
just
big-
all of them in one
Wow.
big kind of
That's a lot.
crossover thing. And they're all big guys and they're standing around. And there's this one cat who's just a dude and he's just wearing jeans and a button-down shirt. And it's clear that like it's his turn. And he is saying, "And I'm Eric, son of Malcolm and Denise of Long Island." Because you know they always introduce themselves with
Hercules,
like,
son of
Yeah,
Hera
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
Zeus.
yeah.
That's good. Is it Malcolm and Denise? Do you know I know a Malcolm and Denise?
My father's name's Malcolm,
Oh, of course. That's right.
and Denise was my great aunt.
There you go. Aren't they just the perfect names for a couple who have a house out on Long Island?
100%.
They're in the Hamptons. They're
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
I know. I have a friend who owns a restaurant in Manhattan who did a pop-up in the Hamptons of the restaurant. It wildly expensive to do that for a week.
yeah.
Just
Yeah,
impossibly
yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
And yet, the prices charged weren't even blinked at. They were just absurd. Like, you think quintupling the price would be... No, not even...
No.
Can I just get fried rice? Yeah, you know what comes with lobster and caviar? Yeah, no, get rid of that. I just have the fry. You know it's the same price. Yeah, I don't care. Just, it's not even... it's
Cooper, I'm getting it.
not- of course his name was Cooper.
Isn't that the ultimate
Cooper, son
toddler
of
name?
Denise and Malcolm.
No, Cooper's a toddler,
Yeah, Cooper is a toddler.
and he's a toddler forever.
He's a toddler forever. He wears
can't
stripy
have-
shirts and has blonde floppy hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, Dennis the Menace style.
Always carrying an iPad, kicking something over. Yeah, that's Cooper.
He's a prick.
I've seen Cooper.
Oh, Cooper's everywhere.
Yeah. Oh no, I've seen Cooper. Yeah, at the the boathouse in Central Park. It's very specific.
Bloody-duh.
By the way, you have a sofa. I have to say, so we're recording this podcast on this wonderful new material equipment, I should say. Road podcasting material equipment. I'm just sort of I'm aware that we're in your space, right? This is your home. You have a sofa,
I do.
big.
I listen. We don't like to brag, but things have been pretty good lately. So we've got a
Okay.
couch.
So we've lived together. My wife and I have lived together. We've been married for 10 years. We've been together longer than that, obviously. In the whole time we've lived together, we've never had a sofa.
Did
never
you
had
have
a couch.
one at the East Village? I remember there was one
So-
facing that the
So
mat.
that was a pull-out couch that couldn't be used as a couch.
Yeah, it's still a couch.
No. So here's the catch. You sat on it and you slid off.
That's true. You did.
You couldn't actually use it as a couch. You remember this
yeah.
thing? It was bought because my in-laws were coming to stay with us and they needed a place to sleep. So they thought buying a pull-out sofa would be cheaper than a hotel. However, couldn't use it as a couch thereafter. So it was just an ornament.
They bought their own
Correct.
fold-out couch.
That's right, and left it with us as a gift. However, it could never be used as a
Wow.
couch.
So they left a couch but didn't take the hint. Oh, I love that
That's-
silence, Jason.
That's anyway. See you in Koh Samui in July, Chris and Jeff. Anyway, but it's the one thing that Sophie, like we have our place now, but we're in Manhattan, so we don't have a lot of space. The one thing Sophie's always ever dreamed of is having a nice big couch, a sofa, as the US people call it.
It's because she was named after one.
She
That's
wants
why.
a sofa. Yeah.
That's why I always want to wear a kilt.
It's the one thing. So we have dinner with other couples and stuff, and it comes up so early in the conversation that things are good, but boy, I really want a sofa. That's all I want in life.
Can you just explain to our listeners the floor plan of your apartment?
It's a bit of a mess,
and then the demarcation of where things are, because I think we might see, we might see like.
Yeah.
Hey, Sophie, she's being a bit unreasonable.
Yeah.
Is she though?
No, okay. All right. So just to contextualize, Sophie's not at all being unreasonable. All she's asking for are basic things that people in a white collar prison get that we don't have. We have a pulled out, like a Murphy bed. We have a pull down bed like you see in the Midnight Cowboy. You know, like it's something. It's like, it's real old school Manhattan, pull down a bed.
You're suggesting that Sophie
is Dustin Hoffman and might die on a bus, yes.
So you're the sexy sex worker.
Oh, of course I am. Have you seen me in a 10-gallon hat?
I will give you that.
Yeah, thank you. You see me scrolling down.
No, the hat stays on.
Oh, my God. So here's the thing. We're having this conversation about the fact that all she ever wants is a sofa because we don't have enough room for both a sofa and a bed in that space. It's one or the other. So we pretty much pull the bed down to watch TV. And yes, my studio takes up what would be a bedroom.
Ah, that's the thing that's confusing.
The terrace as well. There's a terrace and it is also an extension of the studio. And I have pretty much the best spot in the house. But I do, in my defense, I spend my whole day there at the drawing board scribbling away, and she has an office to go to. I am in that apartment 24/7. That's not an excuse.
Sure was worded like one.
Your Honor, can we scrap that from the record? But she started a sentence the other night at dinner.
Oh, I love it. Now, as a married man, the doesn't the start of a sentence make your blood run cold at times?
And because it got a huge laugh and a guffaw.
No, that's not good. That's not good.
Here's how the sentence started. Look, I don't have a sofa, but I do have 3 Roombas. Hear me out. We actually do have 3 Roombas.
That doesn't surprise me at all. That doesn't surprise me. And if you know a Roomba could buy you a really nice sofa. Like a really good...
It's literally... 3 though.
Listen,
3.
I hate being backed into a conversational corner, but why do you have 3 Roombas?
Okay, so here's what happened. And I say this knowing that you should know that in 2020 we just thought we were all going to die, so I just went ahead and bought all the things that I ever wanted in life, and a Roomba was one of them. I always just wanted a Roomba. Everyone else had one.
Do you know what I bought? A Rolex watch.
This is, if anyone needs a shorthand on Scott and Jason, you need to catch up quick without reading our Wikipedias.
Me and Ronnie Cheng, we got into watches.
Yeah.
You got into...
Yeah. You're both on the Hodinkee YouTube channel, and I'm looking up different Korean Roomba models. Right, okay, so Ronnie comes into this. Here's why. So what happened was I got a Roomba, and then my dog, when he was a puppy, didn't know that it coming on at 2 a.m. wasn't someone coming to murder us, so he shot hot diarrhea all over it, whereupon it said, beginning to clean, and then just dragged it up and down the apartment. And you've been in that old place. The floors walk inwards, so everything just dripped towards the wall. So I, like a savage, I just put it back in the box and returned it. That poor Amazon employee who had to open that. So what? I said it was broken. Because technically
technically it was.
But not factory.
And is your dog's defense mechanism
he's like a skunk or a
squid?
He's like a dog squid. Except Yes, exactly. The ink is a spicy meatball. So they sent a replacement, but I didn't think I thought I just hit return. I actually hit return and replace, which meant they sent back the exact model. And then in the interim, I went ahead and just bought another one on Prime Day special. And so then I've got 2 Roombas now. So I'm like, oh, what do I do with 2 Roombas? I guess I'll just keep them.
Race them?
One for each room.
What do you mean? It's like it's staring you right in the face.
Didn't even. It's like obvious. Obviously, race them.
Idiot.
Fight. Make them fight. Put them in a pit.
Put different kitchen
Get your mates
utensils
around.
on.
Get some bets on. Couple of beers. Robot Wars.
Go diarrhea damage replacement. Go diarrhea damage replacement.
Go off-model Korean second-tier Roomba. Go Roomba.
But it's a really good fighter because it was brought up in a tough environment.
Wrong Korea.
Yeah.
So then what happened was Ronnie moved from one apartment to another. Ronnie, aforementioned Ronnie Chang. So often what happens is Ronnie he can't just throw things out. He is psychologically incapable of throwing anything out without checking with anyone else first.
Yeah, no, he's very
gifty, he's good, very generous.
Very Chinese in that, right? Like he has to make sure everyone's sorted out.
100%. Everyone's got enough room. You got a drink, you got
food.
the
drinks, yeah. It's a really lovely quality.
Have you got enough Roombas? So...
Good for a Roomba. I'm heading to the bar.
You're going to need another one.
I'm heading to Best Buy. Do you need a Roomba?
Next round's on me.
Next round's on me.
So I have 3. So he got me like an amazing one. Like I say, he just gave me his old one, which is like space age NASA Tesla version of Roomba.
Yeah.
With a camera and a name and a family. You know, it's like a whole thing.
Right.
So now I have 3 Roombas. I have 1 for my studio, 2 for the main room, and it's a small Manhattan apartment. I have no business having 3 Roombas, and yet I don't have a sofa. And this is the ongoing fight that you will hear about, and I mention it because it's going to keep coming up. But there must be something in it. There must be something in Roombas in Manhattan, right? Because now everybody's fucking got one. Have you got one? Have you had one?
No, we
in your
didn't.
old place?
No, we never. No.
Oh, you're an adult. You clean with your hands and a mop.
Well, I mean,
you pay
someone
someone. There you go. That's the next level from Roomba is paying someone to do it. I push a button on my phone. So do you, but it's Venmo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because, so the reason I ask is that everyone that we have this conversation with has a Roomba story. So I think everyone at this point, it's like not a flex, but it's like we've got one of those.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called, but it's, everyone names it. Everyone gets, you have to give it a name.
Is there something in it being like co-opted as a pet or a child or something?
So that's what I was
like,
thinking. You know how you had a great joke that I've always wondered why it never found a home, which was like, it's the best dog school
district. Yeah, I was thinking about that joke the other day.
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And it's a great joke. And I pitched it to no end and it just never got a bite. And I'll pitch it till the day.
What was the joke? It was a dog obedient school district.
In the
whatever. Whatever. Yeah.
I think we changed it 3 or 4 times just to try and see if it was whatever. And I just thought now everyone's got these Roombas. Everyone's got Roombas. A lot of people have got dogs as well. But a lot of people after the pandemic and just over time, in the way that having a phone, like an iPhone used to be hey, you've got an iPhone. Now it's like, you got a Roomba? Yeah, great. Like that's, everyone's got a Roomba.
Is there something in someone saying, they're from a good family, like they're from a 2 Roomba family?
Yeah, that might be a thing. It's a 2 Roomba family. Or is
something like that.
Yeah. So Roomba and Room I was playing with?
Yeah, like Roomba mates.
Yeah. Oh, it's a 2 Roomba, 1 bath sort of situation. Like not quite that, but you know what I mean. Like some kind of, that's the metric of how big a place is.
Yeah, it's a bit like that Bill Hicks joke, which was
one?
I smoke a lot. I go through 3 lighters a day. That was roughly the joke.
That's a good Bill Hicks joke, yeah.
So
better than I used to smoke. I still do, but I used to too.
Mitch Hedberg.
Mitch Hedberg, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. I just need you. What I needed to do is plant that seed.
Yeah. Let's take that one.
And then
on
a week
advisement.
from now, a flower will grow and it'll have a fucking animal in it. Anyway.
Roomba-sized joke.
Okay. So, is there something in this? Bigfoot in a shoe store.
I will buy 10.
Do you have these in big? It's just.
Look, what if it's him go, can you just check in the back?
Yeah,
like it's like we've had the conversation.
Check in the back is a great line.
Yeah.
Do you mind checking in the back?
Yeah.
Or is it let me check in the back?
Let me check in the back.
Let me check in the back
joke.
is okay.
Yeah.
Because do you have these in big is a very dumb. That's Mad Magazine. Whereas let me check in the
Show me a
back
picture.
is New Yorker. It's just
Oh, that's so good. Oh, I love it. I love that
it's
joke.
very silly.
Yeah.
Do you have these in big? Initially, the first idea was do you have these in a 57? But I was like, that's dumb.
What if it's like, I don't think so, but I'll check in the back.
That's good. That's the line. That's great. See, this is why we do this. I don't know what this is, but it's a title. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, and it's Sophie on the couch that she doesn't own, just with a whole bunch of ranch. She fucking loves ranch. She's becoming since becoming an American citizen, she's putting ranch on everything. Everything.
In the interest of your marriage.
I'm not cutting this.
Is this the
I
path?
am not cutting
Is
this.
this the path we want to go down? Like, hey, you know how you don't have a sofa? Well, here's a picture. You know what you do have? A problem with ranch. So I took those two things and put them together.
Look, here's the New Yorker magazine, honey. Check it out. Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
You know how you're the fittest person in our circle of friends? Well, I'm going to paint you kind of fat.
She literally ran the New York Marathon.
100%.
And then 2 weeks later ran the Philly Marathon, and I'm making fun of her for eating ranch.
Yeah.
Okay. So, by the way, last week we were talking about OnlyFans. A new slogan for OnlyFans: a penny for your bits. Is that? Is that it's just branding exercise, really.
A fanny for your thoughts.
It's not bad. There you go. Fanny for your thoughts. So, sometimes every now and then we can do sort of picture daily shouts. And daily shouts are sort of more long form. It's sort of on a theme. Often it's an idea of like maybe 5 to 10.
One
8 to 10.
that we did was like, you're not a real parent until.
Yeah.
And there was a bunch
Great
of
one.
jokes about that.
Killed it on that. And then I just keep thinking like ones to have in the barrel for when things happen, right? So things are going to happen that come up like Olympics and weather things. And you kind of start marinating on them now so that when events happen, you go, oh, yeah, I've got a great Christmas one for this or whatever.
Oh, I see.
Right.
Yep.
New York Olympics. It's the subway turnstile hurdles,
Yep.
100-meter butterfly flat at East River Park,
Yep.
200-meter sprint for the last Metro North out of Grand Central.
There you go.
Discus is Sheep's Meadow Frisbee Golf. Just a series of iconic New York. A lot of summer. I think Summer Olympics.
Do you mind if I take your joke and make it playfully racist? What if we do that with French stereotypes? Because it's going to be in Paris.
It is going to be in Paris. And I think this is where it came from. I was in Paris for Christmas, and it is decked out, ready for the Olympics, right? It's everywhere. The branding is everywhere. The colors, the signage, it's all up. And we're going back again in May. It's going to be nuts.
Are you going in May, are you?
Yeah. And it's going to be even I've never been in a host city during an Olympics. Sophie was in Beijing in I think 2009 or whatever it was, and Sydney as well in 2000. But I've never been in an Olympic city.
It's a vibe.
Yeah?
It's a vibe.
You were
It's
in
good
Sydney
fun.
for?
Yeah, I was
2000?
in Sydney, bro.
Yeah. Right.
I loved it. It was so much fun.
I don't know. I was in it, and I started feeling everyone's very excited about it. Everyone in France is actually excited about something, which is wild that they're not just cynically smoking and throwing things at signs. But yeah.
Everyone might be a slight.
Yeah. Okay. But that's where the seedling came. I was like, oh, what if the Olympics were in New York? So are there Parisian versions of? So this is it, isn't it? It's the Parisian Olympics. It's the
like smoking
instead of javelin, it's just like with cigarettes, flicking a cigarette across
like the torch
across the Seine. Lighting the torch is literally just
lighting the torch is like a waiter bringing a lighter out of his
It's matches, actually. That matches. Yeah. There's just, little iconic parodies.
I like that. I like that as an idea.
Yeah, all right, let's build it out. We'll work
idea.
on it. We'll build it out. There's a refillable series that I initially pitched to Esquire, I think, and they passed on it, but Mad said it's got some bones. And it was Hell's Waiting Room.
You've talked to I remember
It was like
this.
2017, 18.
Yeah.
And it was something about just a refillable is like something on, like Fallon or Letterman or whatever. It was like the top 10 list or anything like that. Thank you notes, all that sort of stuff. So Hell's Waiting Room is just people, they're waiting to go in, like it's like a doctor's office, but they're waiting to go into hell. Basically sitting there, there's some old magazines. Yeah. There's a
fire, the wall's fire.
The wall's fire, like there's literally fire. You can just see it off on the side.
Yeah.
There's someone with some horns, but he's a visitor. He's
right.
Yeah.
I always like the idea of like there's lesser Satans before you get to the real one. Like there's just a whole bunch of devils.
Well, you got to get a referral to the devil.
Yeah.
You need to. And he's not in network, which is horrible. Sorry, in network the whole thing that people
too soon. I just had a kid, dude.
Yeah. So it was a whole bunch. It was so here's the ones I got. It's one person who has assumed to have asked the next person in the next seat, "Well, what are you here for? Like, what
are you in for?
What are you in for?" kind of thing.
Yep.
Which could be which is a prison trope, but let's call it a waiting room trope. I stopped at the top of the subway stairs. I clapped before the jazz solo finished.
I clapped when the plane landed.
Clapped when the plane landed. Why don't people do that anymore? Anyway, I didn't. I'm the one guy. I didn't jiggle the handle.
You obviously haven't been to Latin America recently.
Correct.
You sit down and
they're having a moment.
You're a woman over 25. You're going to applaud when we land, aren't you? No, it's not even that. It's just like,
yeah, we're just glad
we did it, Jesus.
We did it, Jesus. My co-pilot. His actual co-pilot. I didn't jiggle the handle. I created synth pop.
I didn't jiggle the handle.
That's a crime in New York City. I didn't wait for the beep. I rode down the street with my Bluetooth speaker playing.
Didn't indicate at roundabouts.
Yeah, didn't indicate roundabouts. Yeah. Just little gripes that we just keep piping into these that just... There's small things that you want to just send people to hell. It's like road rage. All of a sudden, everything's amplified on the subway or when you're in transit somehow. People's just the smallest thing just shits you off. It's just your teeth are already on edge, and then all of a sudden someone does something.
I don't think you should take public transport on an empty stomach. That's what I'm taking out of this list.
What, fasting and taking a train?
Yeah,
bad combo?
Yeah. No public transport till midday.
Good advice. Good advice. This just turned into the Andrew Huberman podcast.
Hey, is there something just to kind of get us thinking? Is there something in the whole Boeing thing that's happening at the moment? Like the CEO just stepped down. Like this whole C-suite's been decimated.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
The only joke I could think of was like the Boeing CEO has been shown the door-shaped hole. But it's so obvious and hacky.
So the clearinghouse for these jokes is obviously late night. So both
of course,
Seth
they'd be going crazy.
and Jimmy Fallon were on it as soon as the door blew off. It was like open season on these sort of, low-hanging fruit.
Until someone said, hey, can you just check Alaskan doesn't sponsor this show? Doesn't anywhere?
Classic.
Get to work.
Get to work, boys. So there's a point at which the jokes just become like a self-fulfilling, like, people just are aware of the jokes now. So the joke is the joke, if that makes sense. It's like a meta thing. It's like, the joke is the joke.
Like O.J. Simpson was a good example of that.
There you go.
Yeah.
If the glove doesn't fit, you must
but
quit.
just the whole thing was just so well done.
Yeah. There's definitely something in it, but I want to see what happens next with this CEO, like the incoming C-suite, the people who are coming into this. Did
you see the quote from...
My door's always open.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny.
Could be, you know what I mean? Like, when someone comes into a company...
Hey, seriously. In my office, the door's always been blown off. don't know about the new guy. I think he's got a screw loop. Hey, dude.
That's great. That's what I mean. There's just so many, and you just wonder, has anyone done this yet?
It's so, and the crazy thing is that like so many people died, and everyone's like,
Enough people died
but it's like
critical mass.
Yeah, but what is the number? Like, if you were to make those jokes about like 9/11, people would be just horrified, and rightly so.
Yeah.
But like 400 people have died because as a direct result of this stuff.
Yeah.
And we're still like, don't let the door hit you.
We're making door puns.
Everyone's just doing door gags.
Here at the funeral, I've got one for you. Yeah, it's not.
It's the Boeing.
Do you hear this one?
He's like the Boeing Christmas party. Like, you can't have a door prize.
Door prize. The Christmas party, the Boeing Christmas party, door prize. That's
someone from I don't know who said it.
He's been shown the door. The old CEO.
It was someone within the aviation industry, right? Mm-hmm. And they said. I don't even know what this cat's name is, the Boeing CEO, but the way he's the best CEO Airbus has ever had.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's funny, you do jokes about crazy stuff because it's in the news and it happened and, people died. People were making COVID jokes during the pandemic.
But this is what I'm saying.
Mechanism.
This is what I'm saying is like,
With the absurdity of it all.
To your point, it gets to a point where everyone is happy to ignore that.
A little bit.
And do the joke.
Yeah. Isn't that weird that it's sort of a cultural zeitgeist. There's always enough people that are upset, and believe me, they're in the comment section. But there is this sort of curve. It's almost like a perfect curve of like when it's okay. Like there's this perfect, like across every single news story, when it's okay to do the joke about it.
Yeah. And I'm going to say philosophically, I do believe that there's very few things that are off limits.
I agree.
Having said that, there's a lot of things that I will personally be offended by.
Sure.
If someone, you know what I mean? Like I find it really hard when people are like flipping about things like the Holocaust and things like that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
but having said that, I still think it's your God-given right to do that. And if you're good enough to make that joke land, bully for you.
Unlike Boeing. Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go on. Sorry, I couldn't help it.
But do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
And I think they're the rules of engagement.
Yes.
If you want to make a joke about something that's really like,
you got
to have it landed.
Have the ability and the craftsmanship of getting that thing to land.
And this thing that's happening at the moment where you're seeing a lot of comics like, it's our job to offend. No, it's not your job to offend people. It's your job to make people laugh.
Yeah.
Now, if you can make people laugh about topics that are generally considered offensive, then you're very good at your job.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you're just some dude.
You're just an
that's
open
kind
micer
of saying racist things.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's and that's the difference between an open micer and, I don't know, someone like Shane Gillis on SNL dancing on a tightrope.
I thought he was quite good. Like,
no, he was excellent. I
just
thought like he was dancing on a tightrope. So it's similar to what, and RIP, but Louis was doing on his final SNL monologue where he's talking about
the pedophilia thing.
He's like, how do you think I feel? It's probably my last time on TV. But it was dancing on a highway. It was everything comedy about an offensive thing was meant to be, which was like, oh God, how is he going to get out of this one? And I think Ricky Gervais put it best, which was, when people say, is there anything you shouldn't joke about? He said, absolutely not. There's nothing you shouldn't joke about. There's things that you maybe couldn't if you don't have the facility, you personally. But there's nothing you shouldn't. Just like people are always going to take offense at something. And you may be that person. But if you can make that joke land, to your point, and
you can tell, and like to draw from a contentious issue at the moment, and I don't say this flippantly to what's going on, but if you look at what's happening with the trans community at the moment, where, how do I put this? Where there is, you can tell what's a good faith mistake and what's someone being a prick.
Oh,
when it comes to the
you can
like
see the
someone's
motivation.
Someone's pronouns are this, and I've got friends that fall into this, and I slip up all the time, and I feel like an asshole.
Yes.
They know I'm not doing that to be.
It's not malicious. There's no malice.
100%. You're
just an idiot.
And the other thing with pronouns is that 9 times out of 10, you're using them when that person isn't in the room.
Yeah. No, yes.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
So when you make a big deal about, I'm not going to say, you don't have to tell us. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
Just like, don't do it. And you can be an asshole behind closed doors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Don't make someone feel bad as well.
That's the thing that I always got about it was when people get up on stage and they're doing it and the way the joke lands is that it just makes people feel like shit. That's not really a very good joke. That's just...
I've always found that a sign of weakness in a comic, especially young comics where they go up, I'm going to die on purpose. So, I'm going to like, fuck these guys. Like, you like...
Real brave.
You like Doug Stanhope.
Right.
But you know what? Doug Stanhope was funny and some people... He'd walk a room.
Yep.
But it will always be funny.
Yeah, that's the difference. He would always walk a room. Some very big rooms. Okay. So I've got 2 more and then we'll go to listener suggestions.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
One quick one.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. This one, this is after we talked last week about the barback saying that the line cooks, the line cook wrote a Garth Brooks song. Not a good one. Not one of the good ones. How's this? Darth Brooks.
Oh, no.
Darth Vader with a guitar?
No. Hey, listen.
Oh, shit. Here it comes.
I did not want to have to do this.
Is this a toilet flush? You fuck.
I would like to thank our friends at Rode Microphones.
Oh, my God. Is this what it's come to? Welcome back to the Howard Stern Show, everybody. Unbelievable.
Wait, I've got another one.
Go on. Boing. This is a very...
I promise we will never do this again.
This is taking a very dark turn.
All right.
Okay, so here's my Outback Steakhouse pick of the week.
Oh, yeah, good.
And you know it's good because it woke me up. You ever have a joke wake you up in the middle of the night?
Yeah.
Okay.
My wife. What a joke.
What are you, Borat?
We call each other joke. Like, why are you being
cute.
such a joke? Because it sounds so funny. Who's this clown?
Who's this clown? Okay, and I need your help.
Sure.
Because I just can't get the... Well, okay. I feel like this is the kind of joke, similar to my keep it open joke, that I'm just going to keep pitching until it works.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the... It's a saying, a quote attributed to the Roman philosopher Seneca. It's luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Very commonly used.
Classic Seneca.
Okay, so it started. Here's where it started. Here's the seedling of the idea. I was in the shower. I don't know why. All the good ideas come in the shower.
Sophie is so right. You add so much unnecessary context
100%.
to it.
Totally.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Like I love you, buddy, but
Yeah.
I don't need to know you're naked.
It helps to know I was naked when I got this.
You're looking down.
So,
Yep. Luck is when.
Preparation meets opportunity.
How would you describe your dick when preparation meets opportunity?
My whole marriage. Okay, so
Sorry.
So it's preparation meets opportunity at a book party. And she's saying, so how do you know luck? Okay. So it's, one of them's in a turtleneck. The other one's sort of, got a glass of wine and they're at the book party. If you have been a New York book party sort of situation. And the cover is like a 4-leaf clover. Like it's a book launch party.
So when you say it's a book party, it's a party filled with books?
No. They're not talking books. Have you ever gone to a book launch, like a book launch party? Some of them are in like apartments and warehouses and different weird places now. They'll hire.
I'm not cool like you. I just do.
Well, I'm on a list, so I go to these things.
Yeah, that's because of what you did in Australia. You didn't move here for opportunity.
Yeah,
you moved here to hide in plain sight.
They moved the convicts from Britain to Australia and the really bad ones from Australia to the US. So I thought, is it a guy and a girl? And then I thought, is it when preparation met opportunity? So it's like when Harry met Sally. Font, that very sort of iconic.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
And it was like, when preparation met opportunity. And one of them is pregnant. Obviously, the woman is pregnant, and she's saying, if it's a boy, we're thinking luck. I think we'll call him Luck. Or if it's a girl, we're thinking Luck.
Oh, yeah, it's such a...
Because luck's what happened when preparation met opportunity.
Because the issue that we have is explaining who's who without it becoming really SS.
Like The Onion.
Yeah, which
Kelly?
is so good,
The
so
best.
good, sickos.
Oh my god. Labeling every briefcase,
Every single thing.
It was another thing. There was like a text version where it's like, "Oh, we met the other night. Luck gave me your number. I hope it's okay." At the book party.
Oh, that's a nice idea.
Just like a different spin on it. Hey, let me get your Instagram so my algorithm can bury your post and I forget that we ever met.
It's a departure from what we were discussing.
Yeah. Hey, give me your Instagram. I'll never see your stuff.
What point do you unfollow the person you followed who was like the other holiday couple you met?
Oh my God. A week after I get back.
We're still friends with two.
Really?
We're like two that they have.
So you're the ones.
Well, no, because we're on this weird kind of cadence with them where they own
like a timeshare?
They own a donkey farm. You did not see that coming.
We have an episode title, my friends.
Zen.
We bought a donkey farm.
So I married a donkey farmer. Lovely people. It's called Zen Donkey Farms.
Okay.
And they make...
Where's this? Turks and Caicos?
We met them in the Bahamas.
Oh, okay.
All right. And then we, 5 years later, went to Jamaica and they went, oh, I can't believe we missed you by a week. We're staying in the same hotel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they just had a kid, like,
there you go.
as well.
You can get the hand-me-downs.
They
Everything's striped.
so what they do is they like adopt donkeys in this farm. It's a really like altruistic thing. And then, but also they make like pressed juices.
Out of donkeys?
No, not out of donkeys. It's a separate part of the
part of the
business
donkey?
called the Zen Donkey Farm.
Okay.
And they live there in Kansas City.
This is wild.
Oh, it's crazy, right?
Amazing.
And Patrick Mahomes, you know, the NFL
Mahomes.
footballer,
Yeah.
loves their juices. And he's out there like once a week.
What?
Getting juices. And
Donkey
he's like,
juice?
yeah, it's not called donkey juice.
All right,
dude.
sorry. I can't let go. Why? I mean, they have a donkey farm.
I know.
Where's the juice coming from?
Yeah, another part of the farm where they've got like vegetables.
The
and
non-donkey section of the donkey farm.
No, the donkeys are the passion. The money's in juice.
Okay. The money's in the juice. Brilliant.
Is the donkey worth the squeeze?
That's how you know they're good.
That's
you
how
gotta
you know
squeeze
they're
them
good.
first.
You got to squeeze the donkey.
So also, is that a thing? Like, do people say, what's your Instagram? Like, I'm so far out of that entire scene of like when people are first meeting and dating, oh, what's your Insta? Or, hey, can I follow you on Instagram?
Well, now there's Finsta.
What's Finsta?
Finsta is like the private Instagram.
I'm such an old man. What's Finsta?
Finsta is like your Instagram account, but it's just for the heads.
Really? So it's a private.
Very private.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't even know anything about this. So I don't know. Is it preparation asking opportunity? Hey, can I get your Instagram? Or, or is it literally just more direct? It's 9 months later when preparation met opportunity. Because there's a postscript scene in when Harry Met Sally and she's got Meg Ryan's got the bump. Pretty sure that's the end. Sorry, spoiler alert. It's a Nora Ephron film from fucking 30, 40 years ago. Yeah.
I want to think about this. I like it. I'm wondering if this is the saying.
What's the saying?
If this is the saying for this treatment. Because I must admit, I'm not overly familiar with that.
Okay,
No.
so that's why I'm also wondering is how ubiquitous is the term? Because I've heard it many times, but then also in this sort of algorithmically slivered, everyone's got their own.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, right.
Am I hearing it more just because I read certain, Stoic philosophers and stuff like that? Versus,
I mean, almost certainly yes.
Yeah, but I also hear people just use it in the wild. News people and
you're on the bus. Hey,
luck, you made it just in time for a resume's opportunity. No one's ever said that out loud. Okay. So maybe I'm just up my own ass with the saying, but I
think that the idea is really sound. I'm just wondering if there is a more ubiquitous saying.
Yeah. Okay. When
Where
something
X blah 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 equals blah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, there could be something there. All right.
Yeah. Hey, we need to get onto
We
some
do. Okay.
listener
Suggestions. And thank you for bearing with us on this because I know it's a long ep today.
I ran over to fill my wine. Hey, in the meantime, while Jason's looking for this, let me hit you with some crazy sound effects. Or do you want to hear me talking through a megaphone?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Or
as a witness, I didn't see exactly where the body was buried, but I know who buried it.
Okay. Can we... Oh my. Listener suggestions, ladies and gentlemen, coming up after the break. Get yourself some Monster Energy drink out the back of a Toyota Corolla.
sponsored by Coke.
Oh my God. No one can ever hear
I promise. That's the end
You
of
get
the sound
one.
effects.
You get
No,
one.
I'm not
Barrett.
allowed. I can't have this.
Use it wisely. Okay, listener suggestion.
Again, Road.
Just
You've outdone yourselves.
gift that keeps on giving. Truly. Okay, listener suggestion. And by the way, if you want to send in your listener suggestion, you can send them in over Instagram at New York Cartoons, or especially through our Substack, which is there something in this.substack.com. Or you can just email them to me, jasonchatfieldcomedy
See,
at
this
gmail.com.
is the thing. We sound so professional until this point where I'm like, and if you see me like around,
Yeah, just
like,
yell it at me from across the platform between the trains coming. Have you been on the new trains? The new ones are like spaceships. Unbelievable.
Oh, there's no gap between the carriages,
No,
right?
it's like London. It's crazy. Anyway, I think it's the same company. Nelsonic returns. Yeah, Boeing. They've
Listen,
gone to
the less
subways.
doors, the better.
We get sucked out in the tunnel.
Okay, sorry.
So the triumphant return of long-time listener and fantastic listener suggestion, Nelsonic.
Ah,
Nelsonic, welcome back.
the god.
Okay, is there something in this ad exec boardroom with a bunch of creative directors, strategists, etc., all seated around, disheveled looking Santa Claus, hat askew, suit half tucked in? You get the gist.
Yes, I do.
One of the ad
He's
guys.
like dirty. He's got like
Oh, yeah,
hash marks on
Hash
his.
marks.
Yeah.
You know exactly how I'm drawing this. Yeah. One of the ad guys says, "We think slaycation would fit better with our younger demographic."
What?
Slaycation.
That's funny, but why is Santa so beaten up?
I need it.
He just
He
wanted
needs
to
it.
beat Santa.
Now, I should mention that at the tail end of this, Nelsonic has said, "I'm kind of high, so not sure, but maybe funny." These are the listeners that we attract, Scott. This is the
our audience.
pedigree of
Hey,
suggestions.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie, Nelson. Like game recognized game.
I thought it was slaycation. Is that already? Do people use?
I was
any-
gonna say this sounds like something. Surely someone has used this
like after
in-
Santa's delivered all the gifts.
No, to be like, you know what? You don't need no man. We're having a slaycation. Let's go and see.
girl.
Yeah,
Is that a
chain
thing?
smokers in Las Vegas this weekend.
Slay. What does slay mean? Again, I'm
Slay's like, yeah, great.
yeah, slay. Ladies and gentlemen,
I just
Merriam-Webster over here.
I have never felt more like a father until right now.
You've really the transformation's been rapid. All right, one last one, and of course it wouldn't be an episode of Is There Something in This without a fucking Sopranos reference.
Here we go.
Listener suggestion, another great podcast episode, guys. You guys are killing it. Keep up the great work. And yucks, I heard you bemoaning the absence of a certain topic, so I came up with this idea.
That's fantastic.
And wonder if there's something.
So who is this?
This is Joe Ayala.
Joe was listening. Going, you want something done right? You got to do it yourself.
I don't know why, but he picked up a shovel when he said that.
All right, hit us,
All
Joe.
right. Wonder if there's something in this. Banner at the top, Office of Jennifer Melfi, MD.
Yes.
Below, the most iconic therapy space in all of television history. Dr. Melfi is still lovely, long legs and lips and all that stuff. and 6 feet under Tony Soprano, still eating his heart out. Sitting across from Melfi is a new patient, guilt-ridden and nervous. He wears a ratty outer jacket with the words near the top pocket. They read, members only. Yep, he's back. Members only guy.
Oh my God.
And the line, the
Even
caption
for
is,
us, that's a deep cut.
the caption is, I think I know why one of your patients isn't showing up. Or the alternate is, what I say in here stays in here, right? Now, this is on the back of
I believe we have a mutual friend.
Yeah, I believe we have a mutual friend's a good line.
But that just sounds so
I know a
threatening.
guy.
It's not a joke.
It's not a joke. It's just like,
it's just
we
like
have a mutual friend. Of course, the disappearance of Tony is made only the weirder by the mysterious disappearance of Dr. Jennifer Melfi in The Sopranos. Just randomly being written out.
She's really pissed off
Just
about
gets
that.
ghosted.
Lorraine Bracco.
Yeah, that was very strange. But yeah, thank you for the suggestion. I'm not quite sure how the joke plays. It's literally just a series of members-only jacket guy cartoons at this point. One at the diner now, and one in Dr. Melfi's office.
And I would just like to say on behalf of the entire podcast, keep them coming.
That's all for this week. Buy our book. Please rate and review. I should have said that at the top of the show. The only thing that really gets this nonsense in people's ears is if you give us a 5-star review on iTunes, give us a rate and review, give us a little thumbs up, subscribe to us on Substack. Is there something in this? .substack.com, and we'll be back with you next week.
Bye.